Alright, so you've been growing this plant in water for months, maybe even longer. It looks beautiful, fresh, and healthy. The roots are long, clean, and strong, and honestly, you feel proud every time you look at it. But then suddenly, that one thought hits you: now I have to move this into soil. And instantly, fear kicks in. What if it dies? What if all those perfect roots suddenly rot? What if everything you've worked on for months gets destroyed in just a few days? And trust me, this fear is real. So many people go through this exact situation, and sadly, many of them actually lose their plants during this step. One wrong move, and within days, the plant starts collapsing. Leaves droop, roots turn black, everything goes downhill fast. But here's the truth most people don't tell you. It's not bad luck, it's the method. If you do it the right way, your plant doesn't just survive, it actually thrives. And that's exactly what this is about. I'm going to walk you through a simple, tested, and science-based way to move your water-grown plant into soil safely without killing it. So stay focused, because this can save your plant. Now first, you need to understand what's really happening inside the plant, because this is where most people go wrong. When a plant grows in water, its roots are completely different from soil roots. They are softer, thinner, and extremely delicate. More importantly, they don't have a protective outer layer called the exodermis. This layer is like a shield that soil roots naturally develop. It helps them handle pressure, dryness, and the rough texture of soil. Water roots don't need this protection because they're always surrounded by moisture. Think of it in a very simple way. Water roots are like fish. They are perfectly designed to live in water with no stress, no resistance, and constant hydration. But the moment you take those roots and suddenly push them into dense soil, it's like throwing a fish onto land. The environment completely changes. Soil is tighter, it has less moisture, and it introduces air pockets and pressure that those soft roots simply cannot handle. This is where the biggest problem starts: root rot. The roots get stressed, they fail to adapt quickly, moisture gets trapped in the tiny root hairs, and bacteria and fungi attack almost instantly. The roots turn black, mushy, and lifeless, and the plant basically suffocates from the inside out. It's fast, it's brutal, and it's exactly why so many plants die during this transition. But here's the good news. You can completely avoid this by using a smart method called a transition zone. Instead of shocking the plant by moving it directly from water to soil, you create a middle environment that slowly prepares the roots for change. This transition zone is moist, airy, and gentle. It gives roots time to adjust, to grow stronger, and to develop that protective layer they need to survive in soil. It's like training your plant step by step instead of forcing it into a completely new world overnight. And this one idea alone changes everything. Now let's talk about how to actually create this transition zone, and don't worry, it's not complicated at all. You only need 3 basic things: coarse perlite, sphagnum moss, and the container your plant is already in. Perlite is a lightweight material that holds moisture but also allows a lot of air to pass through. It keeps the environment breathable, which is exactly what fragile roots need. Sphagnum moss, on the other hand, works like a sponge. It holds water really well but still keeps tiny air spaces inside it. When you combine these two, you create the perfect balance: moisture plus oxygen. To set this up, start by gently adding perlite into the water around your plant's roots. Don't mix aggressively because the roots are still very fragile. Let the perlite settle naturally. After that, add a layer of sphagnum moss on top. The layering is important. The heavier perlite stays at the bottom and the softer moss stays on top. This structure creates natural pathways for water to move upward through the mix, keeping the roots hydrated while still allowing air to circulate. A good ratio is around 30% perlite and 70% moss, but you can adjust this depending on your plant. If your plant loves moisture, use more moss. If it prefers a bit more airflow, increase the perlite. The most important rule here is to keep everything loose and fluffy. Never press it down. If you compress the mix, you remove air pockets, and that defeats the whole purpose. Once your transition zone is ready, the next step is where patience really matters, the gradual addition of soil. This is the step most people rush, and that's exactly why they fail. You cannot dump soil in all at once. You need to slowly introduce it over time so the roots can adjust without stress. A simple way to do this is to follow a 14-day schedule. On the first day, your plant stays in just perlite and moss. On the second day, you add a very small amount of soil, just 5 to 10% of the mix. Think of it like dusting it in, not replacing the existing medium. By day 4, you increase it slightly to around 15 to 20%. By day 7, you move up to around 30 to 40%. By day 10, you reach about 50%. And by day 14, your plant is almost fully in soil. This slow transition allows the roots to adapt step by step, building strength and protection gradually. During this time, you need to keep a close eye on your plant. Check the firmness of the leaves and stems. They should feel strong and hydrated, not soft or droopy. If the plant starts looking weak, it's a sign you're moving too fast and you need to slow down. Another very important detail during this phase is the type of water you use. Avoid tap water completely. It often contains chlorine and other chemicals that can stress your plant even more during this sensitive stage. Instead, use distilled or filtered water. It keeps the environment clean and reduces extra pressure on the roots. Also, maintain consistent moisture. The mix should feel like a damp sponge, not too wet and not dry. Balance is everything here. At the same time, you need to control the environment around your plant to reduce stress. High humidity is extremely important during this transition. Aim for around 70 to 80% humidity if possible. You can easily create this by covering the plant with a clear plastic bag or placing it inside a container with small holes. This traps moisture and prevents the plant from losing too much water through its leaves. Light is also important. Keep the plant in bright but indirect light. Avoid harsh sunlight, but don't move it to a dark corner either. Stability is key. In addition, using biostimulants can give your plant an extra boost. Kelp extract is a great option because it contains natural growth hormones that help strengthen the plant. Amino acid solutions are also helpful because they support root development. You can apply these every 3 to 4 days in small amounts to support the plant during this stressful period. As the days pass and your plant adjusts, you'll start noticing signs of success. New leaves may begin to grow, the plant will stay firm and upright, and the roots will start turning white and healthy instead of dark and mushy. These are all signals that your plant is adapting well. If you don't see these signs yet, don't rush the process. Some plants need more time, and that's completely normal. Finally, when your plant is fully ready, it's time to move it into a permanent pot. But even here, technique matters. Start by filling 1/3 of the pot with slightly moist soil. Then place your plant in the center at the same depth it was before. Don't bury it deeper. Slowly fill the sides with soil, gently pressing it just enough to remove air gaps without making it too tight. Slightly moist soil works best because it settles around the roots more evenly. After potting, continue to care for the plant carefully for the next few weeks. Keep the soil slightly moist, check it every couple of days, and slowly reduce humidity over time. Don't make sudden changes. Let the plant adjust naturally. In the end, once you understand this method, you can use it on almost any plant, whether it's Monstera, philodendron, anthurium, or others. The principle always stays the same. Create a transition zone, add soil slowly, control the environment, and give the plant time to adapt. And honestly, once you see your plant not just survive but actually grow stronger after this process, it feels incredibly satisfying. It's no longer stressful. It becomes something you can confidently do every time.